Time is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
With his faithful guest host. Wait, what am I? You're with your co-host.
That's the thing
John,
you could
play the music, Shefsky. Play the music!
Whoa, you beat me to
Play the music!
Crime
Is the show that starts now.
now. Like right now?
Oh, yeah, do your line.
Okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send...
Don't send anything
them
to me. Don't you dare.
Crimepodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send
Label
anything.
it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good. Guys, I know it kind of threw you off that Shefsky wanted to play the music, but you enjoyed it as you always do. Before we get into today's episode, we have to play some bills, and we enjoy paying
Did you
these
say we
bills.
have to play some bills?
Yeah, I play the bill. That's what I do.
Damn it. You got to work on your tongue.
I've been Bill Clinton on stage and off.
Yeah.
I've been Bill Hader. I play all the bills.
You played on the Buffalo Bills.
But this bill we're going to pay from our friends at C3 Risk
and Insurance Services. Guys, the world's falling apart. It's only going to get worse. You got to get your shit insured by C3 Risk and Insurance Services.
Our friend Joe Earl over at C3 will take care of all your insurance needs, home, auto, whatever else. I don't know what kind of insurance there might
Fire.
be. Dude, fire. Thank you, Andy.
Especially if you're in SoCal.
Yeah, fire insurance. Dude, seriously.
Flood insurance, diarrhea
everywhere.
insurance. They got everything.
Whatever kind of insurance you need, hit up C3 Risk Insurance Services, c3insurance.com. Our buddy Joe Earl will give you a $25 Amazon gift card if you get a policy.
Oh, yeah. Tell him Shefsky sent you. He fucking loves me. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. Today, we're super excited. You can see our guest today. You can see him at the last two nights before Christmas, whatever the hell those nights are.
It's probably like the
Before- it's
23rd and 24th.
That sounds right.
23rd and 24th.
23rd and 24th,
At
the
the-
Underground Comedy in D.C.
At the Big Hunt.
The Big Hunt.
The big hunt.
Yep.
Put your virtual hands together for Andy Haynes!
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, consistently our guests just rise to the level of our energy.
It's called
and
juxtaposition,
It's one of
though.
the greatest parts about this show that I love and endure.
It compliments. When we yell and are overly excited, then our guest's like, hey, what's up?
Is that a Real jersey? I can't see the
Yeah,
logo.
it is.
Alt colors.
I
Purple.
go.
Hey, purple
Can
shirt.
I just tell you something?
Dude,
you didn't even let me fucking mention the purple shirt. Go on.
I'm always the third kit guy. I love a third kit.
Yeah.
It's my shit.
Today's
I
a
don't know
very
why.
third kit story, so we're excited.
What's the third kit? Is that like they have
It's
an
like
option kit?
the alternate
So they
jersey.
have home, away,
Yeah.
and then third kit is like if they're away and the away team has a color similar to their,
That's why they do it? Oh.
they have a third kit.
I've seen it in a couple hockey games. And I'm
Or
like, what are
because
they fucking
purple is
doing?
awesome. You know what? We'll post
Purple's
We'll
awful.
do a photo at the end of this episode. Put the purple shirt on the Instagram for you so you can enjoy purple shirts
They
like
get
we
some-
know all of our fans do.
They get some weird ones. Like Barcelona has one that's like turquoise, like neon turquoise.
See, I can dig that.
Fuck yeah.
It's the purple that starts, and no offense to you wearing the purple, but Slaton kind of overdoes it. It's like a mom that cooks the same thing every night. You know, there's a lot of
William
purple.
Chaloner
Whoa, you're a dick.
was born in around 1650
Bill.
in Warwickshire, England. Yeah, another Bill.
Another Bill.
There you
Bill
go.
Chandelier.
I'm playing
Gotta
those
play
bills,
'em.
bruh.
What's his last name? Chandelier?
Chaloner.
Chaloner.
In Warwickshire, England, 1650. His family was barely able to get by on his father's meager earnings as a weaver.
What's it mean? He cuts in and out of lanes when
Yes.
he's riding his horse.
Exactly.
What's a weaver?
Dad sounds like
Like
a bitch.
he's weaving shit.
Oh, like he makes
making
baskets.
blankets and
Yeah.
baskets or whatever. I don't know whatever
Oh,
you're weaving,
man.
but he weaves.
But his mom was the blacksmith.
That's like a very like indigenous almost level occupation.
Yeah, the pre-industrial revolution, everyone's indigenous.
Is 1690
It's
pre-industrial?
1650, yeah. This is pre-industrial
I
revolution.
guess.
Industrial Revolution didn't start till what, the 70s, 1970s? When did it start? 1800?
Yeah, 1970.
1801?
Yeah, 1970s is when we finally figured out how to make an assembly
when
line.
Dylan went electric, the whole world went electric.
That's what happened, bro. No, seriously, when's the Industrial Revolution?
1840, 1850.
Okay, I said
somewhere around
1801. That was
It's
close.
that okay.
there. Yeah, is that late?
Okay, he's a weaver,
With
indigenous.
no school, William and his siblings had no formal education, with no school to occupy his time, and dad busy weaving all day.
My dad wept when I was a baby, too. All right, sorry.
Discipline in the Chaloner household was almost non-existent. Eventually, William's parents grew fed up with trying to control their unruly child, so they sent him to Birmingham to apprentice as a nail maker.
This is man.
It's already
These are
miserable.
Some funny horrible lives.
Oh yeah.
What was an unreasonable child like in those days? Like, what did it mean? Like, it's easy
He-
for us
he
to relate
spoke-
to a kid
he
nowadays.
spoke sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you talked,
You almost got us excommunicated from the Catholic Church, you
if you
brat.
wouldn't like sit in a puddle, like they'd be like,
God.
get back in your puddle.
Yeah, go guard the family puddle. That's
Yeah.
where we get our water from. And if you don't sit in it, how else are we going to be able to drink it?
Miserable.
I've never been to Birmingham, but there's a lot of Indian people there.
Oh, yeah?
And they serve a dish called a balti. Just so you know, if you go
What
there.
is the ball?
In England or Birmingham, Alabama?
Which one do you think? England.
They both could have. I could see a lot of
Yeah.
Indian people in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, I know. I like that you had to say England because that pause that Shefsky had was so earnest.
I thought that
like-
maybe
It was like,
Andy got the
which
story
one?
wrong and he was thinking Birmingham, Alabama. So I just thought maybe.
No.
I was just making sure.
Sorry.
He's wearing a European soccer jersey. You're like, yeah, Andy's probably thinking about Alabama in this context.
I
a
am
really
thinking
weird-
about Alabama, but not then.
Fair enough.
Slaton, you're a shitty detective and a shittier lawyer. Go on with your story.
In the 1600s, nail making was still done entirely by hand.
Hell yeah.
While it had once been a part of blacksmithing, by this time it was an unskilled, low-paying job of its own.
No shit.
Iron mill owners would fashion rods, then hire poor people to turn them into nails.
Oh, it sounds depressing. How many nails did they do a day? 7?
More than that was, so they would clip, take a rod, clip it, pound one end into a sharp point, and then pound the other end to make it flat.
You know, it's weird to think like all that stuff where it's like we don't give a shit about it, but like none of us could come up with a nail if you gave us all day.
No, we don't have the calluses to make things like that.
We would all just be
Very
crying.
soft hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of lotion.
I have stigmata, but that's different.
You are very Christ-like in
I
your
know.
general demeanor.
I know.
The groat, a coin worth 4 pence, was rarely produced by the Royal Mint. Yet somehow, a large number of them made it into public circulation. Unsurprisingly, the vast majority came from Birmingham, a city full of poorly paid ironworkers with access to scrap metal.
Just making their own coins?
Rather than pounding out nails for little or no money, the craftsmen found it much more lucrative to turn out Birmingham groats, worth around $75 a piece in modern terms.
Oh my God.
It's kind of hard to make that judgment precise. That was the best translation I was able to find. Wow. Yeah. So rather than sit all day making nails, you just
Make 2 of those
fake
things. That's
coins.
$150 a day.
Yeah.
Wait, so you went back and you looked like to figure this out? Did you go and look at how much like a dollar was worth?
There's
He
a few
always
websites
does.
that do that
yeah,
for you.
and they'll do the currencies too.
This for currencies in particular, this one is really hard. So for this 4 pence groat, making that translation was difficult, which is why I'm kind of ambivalent to say 75 is really accurate.
$75.
Yeah, $75
yeah.
in
4
modern terms.
pence.
And 1650 to 2017.
So what?
It's like a 400-year difference, basically.
Don't go soft on him, Andy.
Yeah.
Part of Slaton's job is to let me know what things are worth in today's value, because I know me and the listeners are like, what the fuck would that? What is
That
what
sounds
am I
like a
talking about?
lot for 4 pence, though.
I think
But you-
that's why I'm saying I think this one could be off. I know that the rest of my translations
because
are
4 pence
decent.
now is like 4 cents.
Yeah.
So you're saying back? Oh, I guess because like back in the fucking day, like in 1950, you could buy a soda for 5 cents.
Yeah.
All right.
And so this is 300 years before that.
All right.
So just imagine like a penny, and you're like, I'll take that castle over there and a couple horses and 3 whores.
Man, inflation is crazy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Wow.
It's a nightmare.
Young,
I wish I had some groat right now.
yeah.
Oh dude.
Dude, yeah, I've heard that they're upping the spot pay at the Comedy Store from 1 to 2 groat.
Whoa.
Why does a
So-
groat seem like a new nickname for taint or a moat? A
I say
groat.
we start it here, guys.
Sniff this groat, girl. Tell me
Oh,
what
I
you
love
think.
I love when someone thumbs my groat.
Oh yeah, well, who doesn't, right?
Yeah, right.
Tickle the groat, right? Like you're painting it. Or
We
something.
came up with a term yesterday, me and a friend, and it was like when woke comics are like hacky.
Yeah.
You know, like just being like white men or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's wacky.
Oh,
That is a new term. Say you heard it here first, folks.
I kind of like
wacky.
it. I feel good about it.
You can say wacky, and people will be like, think you're kind of like
Complimenting them?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I guess I am kind of wacky.
What is it, because of the glasses and the scarf? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I'm saying it.
That's
for
why
sure.
I'm saying it.
Young William's master was a prolific coiner, and before long, the apprentice became proficient in the art of counterfeiting. By the 1680s, William's ambitions outgrew the small town, so he walked 110 miles to
Nice.
the city of London.
Strong little boy.
Terminology for walking back then was taking St. Francis's mule, by the way, if you wanted to have a fun, outdated
That's what they
term
would say.
for walking. Yeah.
I'm about to take St. Francis's mule for a couple hours.
I guess St.
Go
Francis
for
didn't have a
stroll.
mule, and so
It's part. Yeah.
There you go, just
They
a
see
feat.
the wit. That's what I miss.
What
The
a
old school wit.
clever culture.
It really
Yeah.
is.
London was a massive change for William. It had a population of 600,000 despite the death rate outpacing the number of births. Travelers knew that they were close by the smell emanating from piles of human and animal waste outside the walls.
Fucking gross.
The city was a drunken mess,
Why are people so gross?
mostly because booze was one of the only safe things to drink.
Yeah, because in the old days, like, it was like a salty ham and beer, mead or whatever, right? If you had water, you're going to get diarrhea.
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like
actually
everybody
better
already
to
had it.
drink booze than it is to drink water, which is kind of how I feel about water today.
Water's actually the best today.
That's the worst.
Water and whiskey.
Oh, water. The air was Andy. You're somewhere lost in thought.
I was just thinking about water.
That's what I like
How
about
much
you,
you
man.
like it?
I think you're woke AF.
No, it's hard to. It's like every day I'd like drink like 5 cups of coffee and then
Yeah.
3 Diet Cokes, and then it'll be like 8 p.m. and I'm like, I haven't had water today.
Always, right?
Constantly.
Do you really drink that much coffee?
Yeah.
It doesn't fuck you up?
No, it ruins me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's terrible for every
I
part.
have a shake. I'm anxious. It's awful.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look at
stop,
the- look
stop
at his
drinking all
eyes.
the coffee. Are you not getting a lot of sleep?
What?
You're not getting enough sleep? Oh, God.
Water's turned the corner, though. I was listening to Tom Segura's podcast, and he has a water sommelier come on, and they do water tastings.
I've heard about that.
That's lame.
That is
Yeah.
so weird.
Fuck that guy.
But shitty tasting water is gross, guys.
Not Segura. I love him.
Yeah.
But that fucking
the
water,
water sommelier.
The
He's
air
a
in
Somalian
London,
that likes water.
the air in London was so foul that by 1698, King William himself moved out of the city.
Bloody smells like a fart.
I bet it smelled worse. I bet there was a lot of just like human like
Vomit.
body.
Well,
like,
have you
dead-
ridden the bus in another country?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's today.
Wow.
That's yeah. I am being bus xenophobic. I will happily die on that hill of bus xenophobia.
I've ridden buses all over Guatemala.
Yeah.
They're old American school buses, which Guatemalan adults are about the size of an American child. Literally, they're like 4 foot tall. But then I get on there and it's game over.
Yeah.
I've ridden them for like 8 hours. It's horrible.
I wouldn't ride anything in Guatemala. I don't trust that state.
Yeah, you just take your
they have
St.
nice
Francis
coaches,
mule.
though. Yeah, yeah.
All
You
across
take St.
Guatemala.
Francis's mule.
I do like walking, so stop making fun of me for it. You got to see my calves.
You know, you could use that St. Francis mule thing with a lot of like
Masturbation.
I could take Richie's mule because he doesn't have a mule either.
That's a good point.
I'm going
not-
to take Shefsky's mule.
I'm gonna go stroke St. Francis's mule for a bit.
I like that too. Yeah, that's a different episode though. We did that one with Tony. So
Oh, the horse
Yes.
episode. All right, go on.
still, London was a major center of European wealth, attracting young people with hopes of making their fortunes.
Oh, like Hollywood.
William
Yeah.
arrived in London knowing absolutely no one.
Now London's just full of Russian oligarchs' children.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're awful.
Didn't Kim Jong Un go to school in London too, or was that in Switzerland where he went?
He went to Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Somewhere where rich.
He's probably
oligarchs
been
kids
to
go.
London.
Oh sure.
London's
Had a great
full
time.
of all of the world's awful children.
Is it really? I love it, but I'm not like addicted to it or anything like that. You know, I go there. It's fucking cool.
Addicted to London?
Yeah,
I was
people
worried that
get
you-
addicted to locations.
Last time he came back, he had the shakes for a week.
Yeah, Shefsky's been
He just
drinking
kept saying
PG
flat.
tips and
Shut
calling
the
me
fuck
bruv.
up. People get addicted to areas. Think
Oh,
about
it was
LA.
the
Think about how many people are like, oh god, when I leave LA, this place is
People do
awful.
get addicted to
Oh.
like scenes, you know?
Yeah.
Like Abbott Kinney or whatever.
Yeah, like I watch the opening from Indiana Jones every day, or I start to really regress. It hurts.
You punch your wife.
To scenes? Yeah.
No. If you don't see it.
Oh,
you
if I
punch her.
don't, yeah. No, luckily she knows jujitsu, so she's able to stop me most of the time. But yeah, oof.
Does
Just
your
really-
wife really know jujitsu?
less than I do?
Well,
Yeah, so it's actually not that helpful.
So you
for
beat her up. Do you guys have that kind of sex where people wrestle and then
I
they have
am not going to
intercourse?
discuss Mrs. Slaton's sex life on this podcast.
I had a tweet
What about
a
yours?
little while ago that Krav Maga should also be called Jew Hits You.
I like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's fun.
great.
Krav Maga is the art of the 4 ends: the nose, the nuts, the neck, and the knees.
Yeah, it's all about like, well, that's kind of shitty of them to put knees in there because that's a KN.
Yeah.
But
That is so true. I didn't catch that the first time around.
That's the the little wink
KNEE.
that you get.
That
While,
is-
I
while
heard
they're
it's-
tracking your trachea, that's the
it's a
wink they
real
give you.
like the Krav Maga is a real like we don't care if we look bad type of martial art. It's all about like eye gouging, scratching, just like cheap shots.
Yeah.
Which is very Jewish. I'm
Krav
kidding.
Maga is
You fucking asshole! No,
I know.
I was just gonna say it's emergency,
No,
like
you guys
Middle
didn't know
Eastern
that. No,
fighting.
Krav Maga is Hebrew for cheap shot.
Yeah,
Is it?
No, but that seems totally plausible.
that's so fucked up. Every Israeli listener's gonna be like, bro, fuck you and your stupid podcast.
And then they're gonna be like, "Do you want to buy some sea salt? Dead sea salt?"
William arrived in London
Dead sea
knowing
salt.
absolutely no one, a problem for a half-trained apprentice without a master trying to gain membership to a craftsman's guild. Unable to find gainful employment within the system, William began to manufacture two popular products.
His money.
Dildos.
New inventions had made watches more precise. By the 1670s, they could keep time to the second. As
Wait, you wrote this, right?
Yes.
So you just went with new inventions? That was the word you went with?
Oh, fuck.
New inventions.
New technology. Look, I'm trying
You're
to pump
about
out.
to get schooled.
I'm pumping 3,000 to 4,000 words out a week.
It's crazy. I mean, it's very ambitious, but I just think that was probably in your Adderall haze
Yeah.
that you just...
This is
fucking new
This
inventions.
is the most relaxing episode I've ever done because I'm like, you know
Because
what?
someone else shits on
I'm
me?
not going to have to bust your balls today. Andy's here to do it.
I'll stop.
I love it. No, please. I'm just
This
going
is
to chill. Put my feet up.
He's so happy right now.
Okay,
Put my
good.
feet
Also
up.
picking up his slack. New technology had made watches more precise, and by 1670 they could keep time to the second. As they became a status symbol, craftsmen like William took to making tin watches, which didn't function as more than a fashion accessory. But William's watches came with more than just a status symbol. As his biographer later put it, the first part of his ingenuity showed itself in making tin watches with dildos.
No.
1680s London was notorious for pushing sexual boundaries.
Oh, hell yeah. That's why it
Bravo.
smelled so bad in that city. It smells like Medici. This whole city smells
I
like
wish
Medici.
that everyone could see the look in Andy's face right now.
I'm so
'cause
confused,
He was
but
just
keep
riffing
going.
and it turned into reality.
Wait, were you just riffing or is the city really got a lot
Brothels
of...
offered such wild and varied options that one famous socialite was quoted as telling a madam, quote,
I
a
had
little-
shit all over my... Okay.
"A little of your plain fucking for me, if you please."
Oh, that's hot.
Wow.
Where real expensive watches created a market for cheaper knockoffs, a similar cottage industry popped up with the arrival of imported Italian dildos.
Holy shit.
Like snake skin. These are alligator skin dildos.
I got to go to the lottery.
Oh, the Lamborghini is my favorite.
Yeah, you're just on one today, man.
I don't know.
Although their precise nature is lost to history, William somehow made fake watches that also functioned as dildos. Don't ask me to explain.
Wait,
I don't know.
no. How dare you? How
nothing-
dare you bring
I
that to the
tried
show and
so
not explain
hard
it?
to find out what this meant.
I'm thinking of a long, like a dildo shape, right?
Sure.
I don't
With
think
a
that's
chain
it.
on it, like it goes to your pocket, like a pocket
I
watch,
didn't
right?
even think it was a pocket watch.
And then the
be.
part that has the so you got the round watch part, right? That's the base of the dildo. Even the area where you'd unscrew to put if it's a
batteries in?
vibrator, you
Sure,
put a battery
sure.
in.
Yeah.
That's the clock, and then inside that you've got. I mean, that actually really is. And then you could see how long you were making love to someone with the dildo, and be like, "Please me now."
No,
It's
there's
been
no
4 minutes.
watch. There's no watch in it.
There's actually,
the,
watch.
watch doesn't work. That's the thing is his
The
watch
big
is-
hand is always pointing towards clit.
I think it could be...
Sorry, Mom.
I think it could be a telescoping situation where you like pull it out and then it somehow, like
But
those,
wouldn't
those
it telescope
telescoping
back
cups.
in when you put it in?
Those telescoping cups?
Like you have to like turn it so that
Maybe that could be something. Or
Okay.
if he was a real like feminist, it wasn't an actual dildo, it just vibrated. You wind it and then it vibrates.
And then the woman can choose how she wants to use it. We're not even going to say that it's a penis because that would be rude. Is that what you mean, like a real feminist?
No, meaning like it was clitoral. Like
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was trying to
focused on
actually
the
give women
clitoris.
pleasure as opposed to just
Literally. Which
Yes.
is a combination of two of my favorite words.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Litter?
Well, that too. I do throw a few Snickers wrappers.
Litter and ally. All right, sorry.
surprisingly they didn't make him very much money. But the seedy business helped him make friends with unsavory associates he would need in the future.
Savory.
Unsatisfied with the meager earnings from fake watches and fake dildos, which I don't know how you make a fake, but it's a knockoff dildos. William turned to
Those are all fakes. Well, you got all these don't worry, they're fakes.
I bought it from a guy in an alley.
It's a replica. You can
That-
point it wherever you want.
Is that an LN? It's supposed to be an LV. I don't really get it.
It's a fake.
William turned to a much more lucrative enterprise. While the plague had not been seen since 1667, Londoners still contended with a high rate of disease.
Of course, that stinky shit city of Medici.
Between 35 and 40% of... Well, also, just every time you check a watch, you're in danger of getting herpes. You're like, hey,
Cholera.
yeah, that's one.
That's got to be a big one.
Dysentery,
Which is
typhus,
yeah,
typhoid,
typhus. Probably.
tuberculosis.
Yep.
Trying
Yeah.
to grab a freshly used
You got to
watch
think
dildo.
of cold, wet diseases. That's what they are. You're not getting malaria in London.
It's more of a fluey.
Is Pittsburgh a name of disease?
It's a
Just thinking of cold and wet stuff.
yeah. I mean,
All right.
It's the Pittsburgh.
There you go.
That's why I think it's called that.
It's a real insulting riff you just did right there.
Fuck that
roast
town.
culture. Pittsburgh?
Fuck that whole goddamn town.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I've never been there.
They give us the Penguins.
And the Pirates.
And the Pirates.
And the Steelers.
Oh yeah, all the greats. Between 35 and 40% of children didn't see their second birthday.
They died like alligator babies.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have asked for the time if you wanted to survive. People were desperate for help, but even the garbage that passed for medical expertise was prohibitively expensive.
Oh, God.
The most important skill for a fake doctor is the ability to convince desperate people that you're legit.
Did you just say for a fake doctor? Mm-hmm. Where the fuck is this story going?
I think we know.
I'm not making any money off these fucking dildo clocks. Better go into the medical field.
He made stethoscopes, and you just put a stethoscope on, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're a doctor."
He's all checking your knees to make sure you had that. What's that bounce thing they do on your knees, but with a dildo?
Reflex.
Yeah,
No
reflex.
one's buying these fake dildos. What should I use them for? I guess they'll be a speculum now.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
He
See?
invented the speculum.
He's checking. What do they check your tonsils? Stick your tongue out. And they put a dildo on it instead of the fucking tongue depressor.
That would be a tongue.
That'd be so funny. the doctor was like, "All right, open your mouth and say ah," and just stuck a used speculum in your mouth.
Even better.
What a tangy
The
fucking
doctor
tongue
just brings out a
depressor.
dildo. He's like, "I got to check your tonsils real quick."
Shoves it down your throat.
Oh,
in
I
and
think
out.
we wrote a sketch.
And then he just turns it on at the last second. You're like, he's like, "No, this is throat therapy. I'm vibrating the tonsils away."
Oh yeah, dude.
The
Female.
doctor just puts a gun in your mouth.
Ice T's your doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Ice-T's actually a cop.
Ice T's actually a drink. I don't know if you guys know that.
Wow.
William showed amazing skill in the art of fooling people with his words, or tongue pudding.
Tongue pudding?
That's the name for being like quick-tongued.
Like
and
gift of gab.
the gift of lying gab. The
Yeah.
gift of fooling people. Tongue pudding.
Tongue pudding. I like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like it sounds
Tongue
like a
pudding,
food.
St. Francis's mule.
It sounds like a food
and
though.
dildos.
Tongue
This
pudding.
is a great time period.
My mother used to make the best tongue pudding.
Sounds like you made out with your mother.
No, tongue pudding.
You fuck your mom?
Yeah?
Not yet, but after this episode, maybe all this dildo talk. Mama, I'm coming home.
Hey, sorry to my mom, but congrats to Shefsky's.
Yeah, dude.
Like, new opportunities.
As Vince Neil used to say, Mama, I'm coming home.
By 1684, William had enough money to afford a house, a wife, and a few kids. Everything was going great.
So how long has he been fake doctoring?
For a couple of years. Yeah, because he moved to London in 1680. This is 1684. So in this time period, he's had a couple apprenticeships. He's made fake watches. He's made fake dildos. He's been a fake doctor.
Fuck, I want to go into fake doctoring.
You can.
I feel like I could pull it off.
There was
A
that
lot of
kid. There
people
was
do
that
it.
kid
Yeah,
in
there was that
Florida who
kid.
like ran a freeway off-ramp gynecologist
He was
office
like
out of a hotel.
16.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
You could totally be a fake doctor.
That kid
I mean, look,
rocked.
you could be a chiropractor, and that's the same thing.
That's
so
fucked
you
up.
can go there.
That's fucked up.
It'd be cool if a fake doctor actually like helped somebody. Like
Yeah.
they thought it was all pervy, and then he was like, "Actually, you have cystic growths on your cervix, and you're going to need to get them scraped."
They're like, "Whoa, how'd you figure out?" He's like, "I don't know, YouTube." Really?
Yeah,
That's what it can-
YouTube.
Yeah, with YouTube, you could be a doctor now. I mean, medical school seems irrelevant since you can get every information from somebody like in 2
or just an
minutes.
I kind of want to
infographic.
get shot like in that area, and I want to take the bullet out myself, like in a
Rambo?
movie.
And then cauterize it yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll cauterize. I'll sew it up.
I'd like to see. I think that you could. I think you'd do well under cauterization. I feel like you would bite like on a piece of leather, and you'd have like a grit in your eye.
I already
Stop
clenched
projecting
my
your
jaw
sexual
a lot
fantasies.
because of all the coffee.
That's fair. Where
Grinding
was
his teeth down.
Oh, everything was going great until William added a new skill to his repertoire.
Can I add
Divination.
something really quick?
Yes, go ahead from the back.
You're not putting. You gotta put page numbers on these things because I'm seeing this pile and I'm like, if he fucking drops it, it's game over.
Andy Slaton doesn't like numbers, all right? Doesn't like to number the
I don't
episodes.
like to label anything.
He doesn't like to label
Is that
things.
I like
True.
to keep everything egalitarian.
He's
Each
very-
page is worth the same as the other page.
Page numbers are a
not.
construct, man.
That's not. It's a story, and I'm worried you're gonna come in here late. You're not gonna have a lot of time. You're gonna drop the pile. You're not. Just go up there. You using Google Docs?
No, this is old school Microsoft Word
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
On
all-
what kind of OS?
I'm a Google
on
Doc.
a Mac.
Okay, at least you're fucking
Yeah.
in the family.
I'm keeping it
Jesus.
together. Jeez.
Please add page numbers.
William added a new skill to his repertoire: divination.
It's under input, I think. Headers.
This guy's good. You have a really good memory.
Insert.
Categorical. Andy's got it all.
Sometimes William cajoled young women into parting with their money under the promise of finding a husband through his mystical powers.
Yes.
So he's not only just a doctor now, he's also a wannabe shaman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the occult in London at this time, too.
Yeah, it's 1650. No one can. You can't fact check
You
anything.
seen Sherlock, bro?
Bro,
I haven't seen Sherlock,
you seen
but I know the occult stuff in
that
London.
took place
is
200
fucking
years
crazy.
after this, and it's still pretty shitty.
Okay.
But, like Tom Hardy in that show, you can just
Tom Waits?
paint your face up, and everybody's like, oh, this guy knows stuff. And then you're like, give me your money. And they're just like, well, he's pretty convincing.
People still do that all the time.
Yeah, I know. Why aren't we doing it?
We make more money than in stand-up.
True.
That's pretty obvious.
Yes.
And it'd be fun. You still get stage time, right?
You're a performer.
Instead of you doing your truth, you would just make up more interesting lies.
Yeah, I mean, stand-up is kind of a lie.
Is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a form of hypnotism. You could say that.
I guess
These
it depends
suckers.
on what your material is and how you feel up there. But seriously, guys, let's start a religion.
Finding a husband was basic psychic fare. William made much more money using his abilities to track down and recover stolen goods. Of course, his success rate was due to the fact that he stole the goods in the first place.
Oh, that's fucking genius. Good for him.
The music man over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. 76 trombones played. Where was I? He
Maybe
ran
we should
that
number
scam-
the lines on the page instead
That's
of
where
the
I
whole
have
page.
that's what I need more than anything else.
You
is a
fucking
line
slop
number.
jar.
He ran that scam until 1690 when he was named as a suspect in the theft. He was forced to flee his high life for the anonymous slums of Hatton Garden.
Like with his whole family, or is he just
No, he
disappeared?
ditches family entirely.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you read it like it's one sentence. We're like, oh, okay, cool. But in reality, this is a human being that can't hang out with his wife and kids all of a sudden.
Whatever.
Wait, so what happened with his family?
No historical record
These
of
are
what happened to
old.
his family.
This is old stories, so we just have to imagine it was fucking awful.
Where are you doing your research?
This I'll actually give you my source at the end of the story. I have a whole book that I read about this particular story.
Okay.
I can't give you the title of it yet because it would give away some things, but we'll get there.
Okay.
It was here that William took another apprenticeship as a Japanner.
Okay, that sounds very interesting right off the bat.
Sounds like Brian Redband's hobby.
High and inside, but still a good pitch.
That is fucking hilarious.
The term initially described another bit of fakery, applying finishes to surfaces and an imitation of fine imported Japanese lacquer work, but soon broadened to include any type of coating. William's instructor...
Coating or coding?
Coating, like
Okay.
putting a coat on things.
I didn't know if you meant some
That's
sort
a
of wind
Ja-
talking.
That's what a Japaner does?
Yeah,
yes.
It's not nearly as exciting, huh? You're like, they must have a lot of sushi. Nope.
William's instructor took used clothes and blackened them to cover up the fact that they were old and nasty. William paid him to learn that trade, using it to build up a small nest egg, and put that money to use learning the skill of gilding, which, of course, is yet another semi-fraudulent practice of applying gold leaf or powder to an object.
And saying
to
the
make
whole
it
thing's
appear to
solid
be
gold?
Real gold, yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it's really nice. Sometimes you do gilded inlaying.
Sure.
Yeah, no, it can be a nice thing.
But
What
I think
about-
he's talking
hold
about
on.
He's
painting
not going to
stuff
use
gold.
it for a nice thing, though.
He's not, I mean, he has this skill now. It's crazy because if you think about it, this guy has so much skill.
Yeah.
Why isn't he just making really nice stuff and selling it to, like,
That's not always how things work.
it could.
It could, isn't
Like,
great.
if I had a skill that was monetizable, I wouldn't be out here walking around Reseda, knocking on doors, selling people fake life insurance. I would be doing good work. But I have to do that because I don't have a good thing. I have to go to the dollar store and buy chocolates and sell them for my jazz band for $10. You know what I mean? So that my high school has enough money.
Are they still going to? They're still saying you could knock on the
But
door.
let's say you were already selling your chocolates for your jazz band, and then you came up upon a way to steal a bunch of chocolate. You wouldn't like find a different way to do things honestly. You'd just be like, here's my chance to make some cash.
No, but if all of a sudden somebody was like buying chocolate for a bunch and I could make chocolate, I would just make chocolate. Anyways, I know that that's not like, there's probably like, this guy doesn't have any kind of like reference for morality at this point. It's just the church, right?
Well, his parents, here's the real truth, is his parents, when they sent him to Birmingham, that fucking put the end to it, because Birmingham was notoriously criminal.
Yeah, and
They sent him
also
to
poor
crime school.
people don't have ethics.
That's also a true thing that someone said once.
This podcast will make the world a better place.
That's what we're trying to do.
If
Or
you're
a worse
poor,
place.
Just end the poor.
if you're poor, get your shit together and start, being a good person, and maybe your luck will turn around.
That's, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our conservative moron guest, Andy Haynes,
but
with real advice.
Andy-
God just
Andy's-
doesn't love you if you don't make money, folks. It's your
Andy
fault.
is a proper 1998 to 2000s conservative. He's not one of these newfangled alt-righters. He is a proper neocon who knows that if you just, believe, you just believe the way you should believe, next thing you know, you'll stop being so poor and start being moral.
I'm a
if you just
Neolithic
work
con.
hard,
Yeah.
you don't make dumb decisions.
There you go.
And also being gay is silly, but that's not,
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
you're
I mean,
right, but it's silly.
very. You could even call it wacky.
I just want to state for the record that this is a character.
This is a comedy podcast, folks. We love gay people, but yet our
My whole
guest
family's
is a
gay.
seriously deranged conservative.
Well,
I do rip off elderly people in the valley, but they're really close to death and they don't have families. I make sure that there's like pretty much victimless crime.
Well, also, you
This
have to
is a
move
weird
their. If we
confessional
don't move their
situation.
houses on, how do we get more housing density and lower get better cost of living?
I'm not
in
even
LA?
flipping them. I'm doing teardowns for condos. Okay, so
like that.
honestly, it's totally victimless.
Hey, if you're moving to LA, Andy's doing you a favor by getting those old people out of those homes and putting up, a new condo building.
one building where some old bitch is living, and then now we tear it down and we got fucking multi-unit house.
Oh, nice.
That's
More traffic, less parking.
cheaper rent.
It all starts with chocolate.
I love it. This is just, might as well just live in Singapore. Great idea. Thanks, guys. Let's overcrowd this place.
William Chaloner took his final apprenticeship under a goldsmith named Patrick Coffey, who taught him all the important techniques of counterfeiting. Over 100 miles away and 10 years after Birmingham, William was once again a coiner.
So now he's making coins again.
Mm-hmm.
He's back at it. He's 100 miles away, which in the old days was very far from. You could commit a crime and leave and go
I like
100.
how this guy just runs around. He's selling Cutco knives, and then he's fucking
Hey,
selling
I sold.
Herbalife.
I
and then
crushed
he's,
Cutco, sir.
Of
I was one of
course.
the greats.
Yeah, but Cutco is a very
I still have.
questionable.
It's owned by Uber
I still
now.
have those knives. They're the only knives that I own.
Now called Uber Knife Sales.
Uber
Yeah.
knife.
I just loved Cutco's business model was like, all right, find out if your friend's parents will let you in the house with a bunch of knives.
Are you 18? Do you have $150? Then you can come work for us.
Yeah, your friend's
Did you
parents.
have to pay to start off at Cutco?
You have to buy the
You have to
sales
buy the
kit,
sales kit,
Okay.
yeah.
that you use.
How much
Yeah.
you make?
I don't know. I was getting 50% by the end, and I sold 25 grand worth of knives.
Wow.
I was actually good. I
In a
was
month?
good
How
at,
long was that?
like 2 summers.
Jesus.
I was really good at getting leads.
Yeah.
And then once I was in the door, I was closing like 90%, bro. 350 average order size, crushing the
great.
game.
Were you wearing like a shirt that you got at the Nordstrom Rack?
Just a purple shirt.
I mean,
looking
come
like a
on,
bitch.
man. Don't give away all my secrets. Yeah, can I get people to come in here and compete with my Cutco territory?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Cuntco.
Cuntco. Yeah, that's just a multi-level marketing for hookers. Cuntco.
We sell vaginal products. Hi, I'm here with Cuntco. Is your
This
mom
is
around?
British. Okay.
Can I just come in? It's a school project. I just want to show you a variety of
Vaginas.
dildos that we've created for you. The penalty for coining was severe, burning at the stake. Although
Oh
sometimes,
my God, that's one thing you always forget. Like nowadays, you think prison's bad. The old days, like the risk of getting caught was like they're gonna rip off your skin and they're gonna stick that pyramid thing up your butt or stick that weird pear thing
Dude,
in
the
your
pyramid
ass and
thing is my
crank it till it
favorite
rips your-
one.
They were the sadistic people that were allowed to be part of like government stuff in the old days. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if they just don't exist now or we have like a different kind of hold on them, so we don't let them do it as much. But they used to just get to like punish you when you get in trouble for like little things. They would just rip your dick off, like weird shit. You know,
That's rough.
the old
is that
days
not,
fuck-
they don't do that anymore?
no, like unless I'm sure like
God, who am I voting
I'm
for?
sure they do it. I'm sure they do it like if
No,
you
they
have to
do
go to like, Guantanamo.
no,
or something.
socialists.
like shoot you when you like steal some Skittles. You know?
That's fair.
I don't think that happens all the time. I mean,
Well, no, but here's the thing. Sometimes if a court was
Skittles?
merciful
Skittles fucking
about
suck.
burning at the stake, they would sometimes hang you before they burned you.
How often do you
So-
make it through the story?
Every single time.
oh, every time this
Really?
is the worst. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
he hasn't gotten very
this
far
is
at all.
the pace of today is. I mean, I'm enjoying the shit out of it, but
Yeah.
it is definitely the slowest we've ever gone.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
let you talk.
I won't.
So William set out to avoid burning and make the perfect counterfeit.
Wait,
one
who's
that would
William?
William Chaloner. The whole. I see what you. Shit.
You got 2 Shefskys today, Slaton. Keep going with your story. See what happens.
Coffee taught him the skills, but all the talent in the world meant nothing if he didn't possess a press that could perfectly mimic the images on the face of the coin. So William recruited a printer and engraver named Thomas Taylor, who had tried and failed to make
Should
his
have been
fortune.
a tailor.
I know, right?
Probably was at some point in history.
He tried and failed to make his fortune printing and selling detailed maps out of taverns. Oddly, that didn't work.
There's a lot of shitty business models in this story.
I feel like
love
history
it.
was just full of me's. Like just
Yeah.
people like maybe I'll
Oh,
sell
yeah.
fucking maps out of my house.
Like
Like
some maps
fuck!
at a bar.
I'm frustrated for all these people. I'm frustrated for all of them.
Hey mate, see you drinking a pint over there. any chance you need a fucking map?
Well, I was thinking about going around the corner for a minute, but
There's a lot of curves. You're gonna want to use this map. Sorry, my accent's gone.
yeah, we
Great.
both
No,
we
it's
both
great.
dropped.
I
But
feel like
I
history
support you,
history
though.
was just
Shit.
full of like dumb entrepreneurs.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
boring ass fucking
Like
jobs. and-
Jesus.
yeah.
Oh, his business model sucked. Giving away loaves and fishes. I mean, what's the return on that?
What do you think?
That's how you know he wasn't a Jew. There was no profit in it.
Yeah.
Coffee. Where was I?
You're fucking very racist against Jews. As a Jew, I guess we're allowed to say that.
Happy
Have to.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah. Oh yeah, Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Hey, when this comes out though, it won't be Hanukkah anymore.
That's
I hope
true.
you guys had a great
Yeah, I
Hanukkah.
hope Hanukkah was great, and enjoy your Christmases. Thomas was happy to get work supplying William with the necessary engravings. By the time the fake guineas were gilded, they were almost foolproof.
Did you call them guineas or did they?
That's the name of the coin.
Oh, I know.
A guinea,
Yeah.
mate.
Demand was high.
one.
Within months,
Thanks, bruv.
he profited
No
over
problem.
£1,000, approximately $250,000 today.
Dear God.
Going from dirt poor to filthy rich had a sobering effect on William. He gathered his family back together and used the money to open his own bank.
You just said he had $250,000, and you're calling that filthy rich? I gotta side with Andy on this. What kind of writing is going on here? $250? You can't even get a condo in the valley for $250.
Also, I'm lying. He spent that money like a trust fund millionaire on his first trip to Vegas.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Took on a series of hookers and mistresses.
Wait, but did he get his family back together?
No!
Oh, okay, cool.
No, he got rich and went and fucking blasted out.
Oh,
Love
dude.
it.
Literally.
Bought the finest cloaks and eventually bought, quote, a great house in Knightbridge, which he ornamented in silver plate.
I would whoop his ass if I saw him in a cloak. I would fucking tear him
you
apart.
wouldn't see him in a cloak. That's the thing.
Every
You'd be
once in a
like,
while,
"What
you
is
see
that?"
someone in a cloak here on stage in the comedy scene, and you're like, what are you doing?
Wait, who has a cloak?
I saw...
Cloaky Kevin.
Yeah.
He's a new comic.
There's definitely someone I saw last night in a bathrobe.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's his thing.
Wow, people are still looking for niches.
Wait, where?
That used to be Happy Endings, but now it's some other trendy bar in Hollywood.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, they
lame.
keep on doing it. In 2 years, he
I'm
went
Billy
from-
the Bather, just going on stage with like a brush, like
I like
I'll
that
be with
both-
you folks in a minute.
I like that both of your names have been one of those that,
alliteration.
alliterations.
Well, he only creates comic book characters.
I'm Roby Robinson. What?
That's right. I'm Wasteful Willie. I gotta make this quick. The car's running.
In 2 years, Wasteful Willie went from an anonymous
What?
man on the run from the law to wearing fur and covering his house in silver. But then a man, William Blackford, was caught trying
What
to
if somebody
pass...
stole his house?
Yeah, I know, that's the worst.
No one ever said in the old days somebody had a house covered in silver.
That's what he did.
Like he painted it silver, or he just had
No,
silver
he
stuff hanging
like,
around
put
it?
silver plate on the outside of his house.
Yeah, like the actual house.
I don't know
is
why.
silverized.
I don't know why that's a thing.
Wow,
But
that is pimp shit.
he was going crazy.
It's like when you
dude.
see those Audis that are just covered.
He
in
actually
silver.
even put rims on the side of his house. It
Shut
didn't
up.
move, but
That's
it was
not true.
there's
That
24
is-
inches on here.
We're calling you on that one, you
Ah,
bitch.
man, sometimes you get it back. William Blackford was caught trying to pass fake guineas and sentenced to death. Hoping to avoid the noose, he gave up the name of his supplier. Word made it back to William Chaloner.
Wait, are we just going through this real fast? He got caught and ratted
different
right away.
person.
This is a different William.
William Blackford. William
Oh.
Chaloner is our guy.
Well, let me just on behalf of our guests, we didn't know that.
William Blackford was caught trying to pass guineas and sentenced to death and trying to avoid the noose, gave up the name of his supplier. When word got back to William Chaloner, he spent,
Our William from the beginning of the story.
he spent 2 days making as much fake cash as he could before disappearing. Blackford stayed in jail waiting to testify. But when the authorities got tired of waiting for William to turn up, they hung him anyway.
See, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not saying these people aren't bad and causing trouble or whatever else. They're criminals, but man,
Bad and causing trouble.
it's just fucking depressing when you're like, and they just hung him.
Yep.
No due process. This is why we gotta appreciate American Constitution, folks.
William resurfaced in 1693 without the tools of the capital to restart the counterfeit game. But history provided him with another opportunity.
Butt history, new from. I'm sorry, go on.
King James
From the creators
II
of drunk history, it's butt history. It's all acted out in butts.
It's like
then
Ace
Jonah-
Ventura.
Yeah, it's Houston. We have a problem.
7 ago.
That's right. Let my people go. Wait, was the Ten Commandments, is that history or is that just biblical bullshit?
I mean,
Sorry,
it's
not real.
historiography.
It's fake.
It's historical fan fiction.
The original fake news.
There you go.
Religion, the original fake news. Go on with your story.
History provided William with another opportunity. King James II had been recently deposed by the new king, William III. Unsurprisingly, James wanted his throne back, and his supporters, known as Jacobites, led a series of uprisings, the first having just ended.
Wait, they're James followers,
But they're called Jacobites.
Jacobites?
It's some biblical reference.
And
that
they
I
had
don't
all these
remember.
weird jobs, and I'm like, there's a great marketing opportunity.
'Cause that's weird,
Jacobites?
'cause the-
little pizza bagels?
The French revolutionaries were called the Jacobins.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
Jacobins.
This might all be tied together, the Jacobite rebellions over like who's rightfully the king.
Oh, because this is around the British Revolution, right?
This is late 1600s.
So British Revolution's like 1730.
Well, this is after Cromwell. So Cromwell had happened beforehand, and then I think James was the one who went back into the throne when Cromwell fell.
Okay.
So
Was Cromwell was the first parliamentarian?
I think that's we did a story that was that intersected Cromwell, and I don't remember all the exact details anymore. My mom is going to send me an email.
If somebody knows the answer to
detailing-
this, don't fucking tell me, all right? I don't want to know.
Let him figure it out himself.
I'm going to give my mom your number because what she
Please
does
do.
is
I've
she,
seen a picture.
She'll fact check me.
She is never going to call you again once he goes over. And once you go, Andy, you never go back. That's just what I heard.
That's what I've heard.
That's what
too.
the reviews are saying. I don't know.
It's not true. I'm divorced.
Fearing more attempts at sedition, King William offered large rewards for information about treasonous conspiracies. So our William made up his own Jacobite document and paid some printers sympathetic to the cause to print a run of the pamphlets. When the order was finished, he had them deliver it to him at a tavern, where he invited them to join him for a celebratory dinner. As the meal came to a close,
Holy shit.
soldiers entered, and the printers were arrested, convicted of treason, and sentenced to death.
Oh,
William collected his reward
just
of
printers.
£1,000.
William fucked these people over?
our star of our story
Yeah.
He's a fucking rat?
killed.
He's a bad guy? What?
He's a narc, and he got these people killed for £1,000, which is how much today?
$250,000.
It's still a lot worth it. That's fucked up.
Well,
I don't know
look,
what number
they
it is,
weren't
but
even
that's fucked up.
really Jacobites. They were like kind of sympathetic, and he was like, "Will you print this stuff for me?"
I'm just bummed. Yeah, they were
He
just
entrapped
printers.
them into the noose.
They were just printers. I mean, you know the
Wow.
guy down at the print thing in Los Feliz. He's like, hey, bro, he's a very friendly man. He just, he's
That's
trying to
like
get
if you
by.
went to fucking FedEx shop and you were like, hey, will you print this? And then you did something with it and they killed that dude.
That's what I'm saying. Thank
Will you
for
copy all this
reiterating it.
anthrax for me, real quick? Does that work?
Anthrax?
The band?
Yeah, is that not how they killed all those? How they tried to kill the government was with that band's music?
Well, I mean, if someone's
No,
gonna,
it was a powder that has it has a bacteria.
obviously that's different than printing
Virus,
some
bacteria.
literature.
I think it's a bacteria.
I think it's a bacteria.
Okay.
Anthrax.
Which I think is also Anthrax's
isn't
third song title.
Isn't it foot and mouth disease? It's just a different. Anyways.
I don't know. Hand, foot, and
That's
mouth
what I
disease?
have on this show all the
Hand,
time.
foot, and mouth disease? That shit's crazy. Babies get that.
William collected his reward of £1,000, and for a while he worked as a professional informer, spending 5 weeks undercover in jail, eavesdropping on Jacobite prisoners.
This guy's done. What is this? The 6th or 7th career change?
Oh, yeah.
I love him. He's so.
He would have fit in great in this town.
So basically,
Yeah.
he turned.
Especially in this building.
What do they call it in the mafia movies? They call it like when he turned like
a fish.
informant.
Turncoat.
Like he turned an informant. So he went from being a criminal outside and being against the government to being a criminal that works for the government that helps turn in people.
You gotta do whatever you gotta do
There
to
you go.
survive.
There you go. But this run came to an end when he ran headlong into another scammer.
Fuck!
Coppinger was employed as a thief taker, the contemporary term for bounty hunter.
Wait, Coppinger? What's his first name?
Couldn't find a first name.
Really?
Coppinger's all I could find.
Andy,
I
we're
like
not
this.
there. We're looking through the clouded mystique
Is
of
this just a
history.
book report?
Basically,
yeah.
Okay.
It's essentially a book
Slaton's like
report.
a stoner journalist.
I mean, I did actually have some documents pulled from the Oxford. You know what? I need to make sure I thank my cousin Thomas Clayton for helping get some documents from the Oxford database.
Wait, your
name's
cousin's
Slayton
name? Yeah.
and your cousin's name is Clayton, like the C.
and he's
added-
not the Slaton side. He's actually my mom's side of the family. So
Do you have a Richard Clayton in your family too?
yes. We bridge the gap right there.
What about Michael Clayton?
He's my favorite.
Great movie.
Second after my Michael Crichton, my real favorite.
Yeah.
But,
Flat Earther.
totally. Hold on.
Michael Crichton is a flat earther.
Well, he's dead, but he was.
He was. Is that why he died?
No, I think he died of cancer.
I'm a triangle earther.
You think it's a triangle?
It's obviously a triangle.
I'm an interdimensional earther. I just think this is like a hologram or something, and like string theory and acid, right?
Coppinger was employed as a thief taker, the contemporary term for bounty hunter. His scam was to apprehend people with no warrants,
so much more basic.
convince them that they were in fact in trouble with the law, and then take bribes to let them
Shady
go.
piece of shit. Can you ever do a story about some decent humans?
Yeah, we'll do a show called Hanging Out Normally.
Just a story from beginning to end. And then he gave to charity and he helped solve global warming. The end.
In fact, seen an easy buck, Coppinger arrested William on coining charges.
Wow.
William, in turn, offered to cut in the bounty hunter on his snitching scam.
Yes.
Coppinger reported that story, and William was thrown in jail.
Damn.
They're just trying to like one up each other to like.
Yeah, this is that game with like a baseball bat, where he promptly told his jailers everything he knew about Coppinger's extortion racket.
What?
Since there was no actual evidence against the silver-tongued William, he was let go.
Also Silver House.
Right, the Silver House William.
Do you think he had a silver cock?
Well, yes,
he made a few of
He
them.
made dildos.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Italian.
This is my gilded guy.
Coppinger, on the other hand, was arrested and brought to trial for possession of stolen property, where he was convicted and sentenced to death.
Haha, bitch.
This
You
guy
can
is-
never go after William.
William's gotten so many people killed.
He's the original Pink Panther, but
is a
creepier and not
POS.
as fun.
What
Man,
a pit.
it's so crazy.
Printing had only recently become...
His dad's just weaving, and William's like, I'm gonna ride on.
That's
all
what
this
happens,
fucking
though.
fools."
I came from a family of weavers, and now
Yeah, and now I kill.
I kill.
Keep going.
I make
Printing had only recently become accessible to the middle class. In the mid-1600s, 24 sheets of imported paper cost an entire day's wage of an average worker. But by 1696, paper production and importation had risen enough to make it somewhat affordable to the upper middle class.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when the collapse of the
I bet
currency,
that shit wasn't even nice. I bet it was all fucking
grimy.
parchmenty.
You'd pay
like
extra
you get
for
it
it now.
like
Flexing
paper
it.
source.
It'd be art.
It was
art-
okay. Yeah, it's the kind of paper that like people buy when they want to seem artisanal.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say it'd be artisanal paper. It'd cost you extra now.
Like all like scrolly, except
yeah.
like the scroll paper you buy now, it's all like smooth. I'm talking like, you ever like made paper? You ever done that?
Yeah. As like a kid.
Yeah.
It was very
I bet it
gritty.
was like that.
And then you put it in the oven for like a minute to like burn the edges or whatever.
Yeah.
To brown it, give that old school look.
Did you do it, Chef?
Put a little vinegar on it.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just looking at. I'm looking at two like.
Did you have a
giants right now,
childhood?
and I'm like, well, you guys made paper. I never made paper, but I've looked at papaya, and papaya is like a really rough, rugged paper.
Do you mean papyrus?
Papyrus. I've also looked at papyrus. What did I say, papaya?
Yeah, that's.
I've been to papaya dog, and that hot dog tasted like paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant papyrus.
I'm glad. I was like papaya. What does he mean? And I'm really glad you were here to figure out to translate
I
that.
knew.
Yeah.
You didn't know what I meant?
No, because I was
Oh,
like,
because in my head
papaya?
I said the right word, and out loud I looked, and Andy looked at me like, "Do you mean?" And I was already like, "I was wrong with whatever came out of my mouth. I will be punished publicly and
I
shamed."
love papaya.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't like guava or papaya, but I love cantaloupe and I love watermelon. Go
What-
on with the
Passion
story, Slaton.
fruit,
When the collapse of the currency evoked a panic,
star fruit.
members of the public began to publish countless papers, pamphlets, and books on the subject with titles like "The Groans of the Poor."
Ugh.
William got in on the action early, printing a small pamphlet on the crisis in 1694.
Another career change. Great.
But his early efforts were merely subterfuge to prepare for a booklet titled, quote, "Proposals humbly offered for passing an act to prevent clipping and counterfeiting of money."
Whoa. So he's the. That's almost like the.
He's
Fed.
Frank Abagnale-ing it.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah, he's going back on himself.
Wow.
While it may seem strange for England's greatest counterfeiter to propose a way to put an end to his very business, it was all part of his plan to publicly paint himself as an expert of coins.
Yes.
Proposals humbly offered caught the attention of Charles Mordaunt, Earl of Monmouth and former Lord of the Treasury. Charles had a long feud with another noble who currently served as the Chancellor of the Exchequer. William offered Charles...
What's the exchequer?
I don't exactly know what that job is.
I checked your X and everything is fine.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that's what it was.
I'm the X checker. Just like the criminal guy.
Hey, did you guys call a Y checker?
Well, why would you do that? Wait, is this a joke? What?
I didn't like it.
I appreciate that. William offered Charles a way to attack his rival by proxy. I thought it was better than it got, so there you go.
You're right.
The Earl arranged for William to testify in front of the Privy Council, which is the primary body of advisors to the king.
So
If it
that's
went
pretty
well,
scary, right?
oh yeah, but no,
intimidating.
William wants this though. That's,
No, I'm saying scary, like intimidating. Like I better really be on my tip top. Like I better know what's going on. As Andy would say, I better have 5 coffees.
If it went well, William would gain his ultimate goal: access to the inner workings of the royal mint.
And that's where he's going to be able to just rip off
this
the royal
is
family.
he's a bad criminal because if he's access to the fucking royal mint, he's fucking made it.
That's what he's trying to get.
No, that's what he's trying to do. So,
No, but he's obviously going to do some crime bullshit. Like, if you got access to the Royal Mint, you can just fucking make money.
and be cool. But there's no rush in that. You got to
This
take
is
some
like the
risks.
lesson of Casino. It's like
I-
you try to get out,
Yeah.
right?
I think that your minds are going to explode when you find out why he didn't succeed. I think it's going to be a
Wait,
big
he didn't
thing.
succeed?
he was
Well,
gay?
Yeah, yeah. And then they found out what his dildos were for, and he was banished from the land.
They killed him.
And so the former sex toy salesman turned counterfeiter spoke to the most powerful men in England, delivering accusations that, at best, the mint was filled with incompetence, and at worst, criminals themselves.
So he's trying to make all like the board basically paranoid that this criminal. Like, I've noticed something about this place. It's swarming with criminals.
Do you watch that show Taboo with Tom Hardy? Did you guys watch it?
No,
It's about like the turn of it's about pre-American Revolution, like, but a lot of it's in England, and the English people are like English aristocrats were like the grossest people in the world. They didn't shower, they like perfumed, they were all like gluttonous. I just can imagine this guy talking to these people.
Did you watch that VHS Taboo that some of your friends' creepy dads probably had
Taboo American style.
from the video? Yeah, you know what I'm talking.
I watched it more than once.
Where you're like,
That's really gross. You bring that up after the mom sex joke, because that's a disgusting
you're like 14 and you're going
porno,
like,
but
is this what your dad's into?
they're all
It's like,
actors.
I guess so.
They're all actors, but it's just
They
fucking.
fuck?
It's dirty. Oh,
It's
yeah. It's
notorious.
dirty.
Sorry, everybody.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Uh,
Woo!
The
Reminds me
council
of just
took
being a
his words
teenager.
under advisement, but launching an investigation to mint officials. But it didn't earn him that coveted spot on the inside. Luckily for William, the newly opened Bank of England provided another avenue.
B of E.
Designed as a way for the government to borrow from the wealthy citizens, the bank needed a way to allow its supporters to spend money even though their cash was now held in its coffers.
Notes?
So they issued slips of decorated paper promising the gold was backed and held by the Bank of England. It was the beginning of Western paper money. These first banknotes gave William a massive opportunity. Coining was difficult. Copying a paper was a breeze by comparison. He found a printer capable of making his forgeries and quickly made a lot of money.
So he's trying to basically copy the notes.
Copy
the
these-
newest thing in England is these notes, and he's trying to copy them.
Exactly. But it only took 2 months for his first bill to be caught. The bank authorities tracked the note to the printer, who immediately rolled over on William.
Fuck.
Caught red-handed, he once again used his pudding tongue to pass the
Pudding
buck
tongue!
to another target.
Allow me to show you my pudding tongue.
I guess, yeah. I'll open my mouth. Go. That's ugh.
It tastes like beef.
It feels like pudding.
Gross.
He not only earned his release, but he received a reward of £200.
Wait, what happened?
He got caught and he blamed it on someone else, and they released him and gave him a reward for blaming it on somebody else.
It's like we're watching like a Monty Python sketch or something.
Seems like if
that.
you just said somebody did a crime at this point, they'd be like, all right.
Yeah. You wouldn't lie, would you? No, sir.
Yeah.
I have never lied. I am also a woman
Whoa.
or a man, maybe a dog, but I don't lie.
Okay, but
He did it.
what part is this in the story?
This is just.
Slaton getting weird on us.
By
Yes.
1696,
Yes.
England had serious money problems. Older coins made by hand were irregularly shaped with smooth rims.
What does it fucking matter, right? People are spending it. People are working for it. Like, get over it. Move on, right?
People would shear off a small portion of the edge and polish it smooth, melting down the clippings for the silver itself.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
Shrewd businessmen realized they could melt down the English coins, use the raw silver to buy gold in places like Amsterdam or Paris, where the raw silver was worth more than the actual coin, then use the gold to go back and buy more English silver coins and start over again.
Genius.
Man,
So
I
this is-
like these guys.
Right? So it's a double scam because you cut off the end of the coin, so you still have the coin.
Yeah.
But you also have the silver that you're then selling on the black market, so you're like double downing.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Sounds like a good, you don't want people to do that. Fucking pay them fairly.
On a side note, an internal inquiry into the problem of clipping blamed the Jews. Just as long
Really?
as you want to go to like history and how money
Jesus.
works, yeah, they always blame the Jews.
Oy. It's not. You're not saying it was the Jews' fault. It's just that the Jews were the scapegoats. Anything with money, Jews scapegoats.
Well, again, people always ask us about like how did Jews get the money, and I go because the church outlawed money lending for interest because they called it usury.
Yeah.
So the only people who would bank, who would money lend for interest, were Jews.
Yeah.
So the church literally said, "Hey Jews, why don't you take all the money and
Be in
we're
charge
like-
of the money."
We're like, yeah, I
Totally.
guess. Then the church banned like doing autopsies. So Jews are like, I guess we'll be doctors then too.
Are you serious?
Entertainment.
church is fucking
entertainment.
dumb.
The church said that it was like immoral to do acting and performing. So Jews were like, "We'll do that."
Whoa.
Everything Jews are
It
good
is,
at, the
though.
church said don't do that, and then we were like, "Well, we don't listen to the church."
The church
So
was right about the whole acting and performing thing.
That's
though.
true. We really shouldn't have done that.
We should. Nobody. that
When
was
the treasury
devil's,
weighed
the devil's work.
when the treasury weighed stacks of money, the total ounces often came in at half the expected amount.
What the fuck is going on? These pennies don't weigh anything they're supposed to weigh.
As most people in England weren't wealthy enough to have golden guineas, silver coins made up the majority of financial transactions. Their disappearance brought English commerce to a standstill.
Just go to the market and everybody's just like,
I don't know. Guess we'll trade again?
yeah.
So the money just it's devalued.
The money is there. It isn't there. It's gone. The money is leaving the country. It isn't there anymore.
I'll trade you this horse for a couple loaves of bread. What a fucking shit society that's
I
gonna turn
hope
into.
William goes back to weaving. I really do.
God.
I hope he ends up
yeah.
a weaver.
To combat the problem, the crown hired a new warden of the royal mint, whose sole job was to protect the king's currency against clipping and counterfeiting.
Who was that?
They chose a man who was
A
already
Jew!
world famous for the work he completed in his youth, developing modern calculus, formulating the laws of motion, and universal gravitation.
Isaac
Sir
Newton?
Isaac Newton?
Not
Newton?
yet, sir. Isaac Newton.
Wow.
wow.
Okay.
Dude,
This-
that's crazy. He came into this story. All right, go
Old,
on.
old Applehead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Appleman himself.
Yeah, what was his thing? What goes around comes around.
So he
Great
already
quote.
theorized physics.
He'd been at Cambridge for 35 years at this point.
So he's like 50.
Yeah.
And then he is there like, you're the warden?
He was 50. He was bored of working at Cambridge. He'd been teaching and doing research there forever. And
He like
the-
tweeted that. He's like, I'm
yeah.
bored. And
Ugh.
people are like, oh, I know a place.
They always poach like our
Hashtag
our
unblessed.
geniuses.
Yeah.
They poach our geniuses to work in the financial sector. You ever notice that? I'm going to cure AIDS. Now we'll pay you double to help.
He
with the
actually
stock
really
market.
wanted out. The money wasn't great. The money was kind of dwindling. His books were around the world, but
Everyone knows about gravity. Now
he
let's
was
make some
bored
cash.
and not making much money. He was also, interesting enough, he was tutoring John Locke at the time. And the philosopher. Yeah, the guy,
okay.
the basis of American
Yeah.
government. John Locke then kind of was trying to help him find a new job and helped him get this job.
It's just like comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, I know a show that needs a writer.
Yeah, John Locke is the Jeselnik or the Rogan of his time period. Just, hey, here you go. I've moved you onto a new spot.
Wow.
That's cool. Did he have a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on paper, though. Papaya.
To Newton, the problem appeared straightforward. Fix the currency and the problem goes away. To combat clipping, the mint had planned a complete replacement of the currency. A new machine could pump out uniform coins with an inscription on the edge, Decus et Tutamen, a decoration and a safeguard. The British pound, by the way, still has this same inscription. on
It's
the side.
Latin. Detos et tu common.
Yeah, Tutamen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right because
Tambien.
I never took Latin.
E tu mama tambien.
Also, the press used to imprint the images on the coins, pushed harder and deeper than a smith could with a hammer.
harder and deeper.
So deep,
Go
so
on
raw.
with your minting.
Sounds like the earlier part of this story.
Right? You want a dildo clock or you want me to push harder?
In May 1696, Isaac Newton took over the process of recoining. The previous warden, an incompetent gambler who often outright refused to do his job on the account of his status,
Oh, I love him
had
already.
failed miserably. This job was, by the way, supposed to just be patronage. It was supposed to be like, hey, yeah, Newton, just come down. This is your job. Have fun.
Guard the bank?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it was supposed to. Most people had treated this job just like, I mean, I'm rich, so I guess I'll do this because it's a job to have, so I have a title.
You just get to swim around in that
Yeah.
coin. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was
But then
that was the only
Isaac
benefit.
Newton was like, nah, dude, we're fucking going all in. I don't make money. We're going to Daud and Dodden the fucking coins.
He's brilliant and bored.
Yeah, I like it.
That May,
It's
the
a good
Treasury,
idea for a TV show for Netflix. Brilliant and bored.
the previous warden had failed miserably at the recoining. That May, the Treasury had also stopped accepting the old coins for taxes. But since the new coins were behind schedule, that meant no one was able to pay their taxes. Newton took over the financial dumpster fire and put production into high gear. For 20 hours a day, men worked in mint shops to replace the entire money system of £7 million sterling. With the long hours and furious pace, it was common for workers to lose a finger.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Keep working.
Newton, through meticulous observation and problem solving, refined the process. What was scheduled to take 9 years under his predecessor took only 3. But despite accomplishing the near impossible, Newton now faced a more daunting task.
He had to beat AIDS.
Yes. Which, oddly enough, he's the only one to have ever done it before Magic Johnson.
yeah.
Yeah. He's the original MJ. The Treasury also tasked him with tracking down, investigating, and prosecuting coiners.
This is a free job. Jesus Christ.
No, he's being paid. He's being paid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's patronage. Like it's basically it's a job where you're not expected to do the work, but you get money. But once the
It's like sitting on the board.
exactly.
Okay.
But once it all started to collapse, the Treasury and the King were like, "Hey, Isaac, do you mind actually doing your job?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I was already because I'm smart, and the idiot you had here before sucked."
He's like, what's that behind your ear? 7 million coins.
Ow, it's hurting my shoulder. It's a lot of weight.
At first, Newton outright refused to work as a de facto police officer. But on July 30th, 1696, the Treasury ordered him to act on the theft of the coining equipment from inside the mint.
So Newton became a detective of some sort?
Exactly.
Wow. I had no idea that Isaac Newton did any of this shit.
No one
I thought the
does.
apple
So
fell and then he
Sherlock-
just like got his dick sucked for
Is
100 years
Sherlock
and then died.
based off of him?
I'm not sure.
Okay, keep going.
Not so coincidentally, this was one of the charges brought forth earlier that year by William Chaloner. Newton started with interrogations of men in custody for money crimes, continually offering 2-week stays of execution in exchange for information. Newton interviewed William, who not only blamed the theft on mint employees, but even offered his services to help combat the problem.
I love that idea. Just like, you know what? Honestly, I'll help you. I'll help you find this guy. I'm mad as hell.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought this to my attention at this meeting.
I'm
let's
pissed.
Go. Yeah.
You know?
Hey, let me just close that door to my back office real quick, and then you and I can get to this.
Which has a Scrooge McDuck bathtub filled with coins. Am I right, fellers?
Newton was smart enough not to accept help from a suspect.
I don't have a gender, so I don't answer to feller. Keep going.
But he still moved on, as the only accusations against William came from men who were already sentenced to hang.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
Dead men walking.
They'll say anything.
They tell no tales, though, once they're dead.
Newton's interrogations gave him a critical piece of information. Every counterfeiting operation had at least 3 or 4 members. Find a place to start, and he could follow the chain back to its source. So at September of 1696, Newton decided it was time to go undercover.
Yeah.
Isaac Newton went undercover?
Oh, yeah.
The real Isaac Newton went undercover?
The real Isaac Newton.
Yes.
How have we never heard this story before?
I love that this whole thing was about William Chancellor what's his name?
Chaloner.
Chaloner. Like,
Yeah.
You really buried the lead on this.
I know. It's part of the
That
greatest.
was the part of it, right?
Is this
good
an
writing.
Adult Swim
Yeah.
cartoon? Like Isaac Newton fucking PI?
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. All he does is throw apples at things and go, well, they went that way, so...
That's not.
Well, once
on.
you just discover gravity, like, what's the story after that? Like, well, and then he kind of worked as a cop or
He
whatever.
reinvented himself.
I don't know if he discovered gravity. I think he just kind of
Formulated the theory behind it. Yeah, yeah.
Everything that ever was.
Everything falls. Why is that?
Yeah.
It's funny that nobody thought of that.
Before that, everyone was like, discover gravity, like, oh, things fall? I didn't even notice that before.
I think that is the case.
Doth a fish in water know that he is in water? Is that how the statement goes?
Yes.
Within months, Newton had spies infiltrating coining rings throughout the country. He spent over 625 pounds of his own money, more than his yearly salary, to outfit and support his private undercover crew.
You can't even tell your bosses. That's how deep this goes.
Right?
Yeah.
How's he going to recoup?
He's not.
He
He's
just cares about his country, which is something maybe you should take
seriously.
a lesson about.
Oh, I do, you fucking communist. I do more than you guys, purple shirters.
We always do the anthem before we start this podcast, and
That's right.
Andy sang a beautiful version, and Shefsky laid down, didn't even kneel.
Yeah,
He laid
he put
down
his-
for the whole
he
thing.
You know,
put
I
his
laid down
headphones
because I
on.
was exhausted for thinking about this country for 23 of the hours of the day, you fucking fascist. Right now, you see these hands? My real hand's inside my body, and it's on my heart, and I'm saying the Pledge of Allegiance over and over again.
Of course,
Wait, those are fake hands.
those are good fakes, man.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, dude, I got them on the dark web.
Of course, some of Newton's agents turned out to be as bad or worse than the men they were chasing.
No way.
Some of them, like Benjamin and Charles Maris, simply flipped and joined the counterfeiters.
You
Samuel
gotta use
Wilson,
a crook to catch a crook.
right? Samuel Wilson used the warrant for arrest to blackmail victims for money before getting caught himself for selling the exact kind of equipment they were trying to track.
This whole department's going to shit.
Newton got in the game, often going into bars and taverns in disguise to gather
sell
evidence
maps.
first.
A lot of career changes in the old days. A lot of career changes.
He sometimes posed as a prisoner in a neighboring cell where he could overhear unintentional confessions between inmates. So
Newton? Isaac Newton went into the jail and posed as a prisoner. Well, he's just a bored rich genius that's like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, it looks like you're from a better side of the river.
No, I'm a criminal just like myself.
You've done horrible things.
I'm very bad.
Since I could tell you're a criminal, let me just tell you all the things I did this year.
Yes,
I murdered like six people.
Did you perhaps see any money-making machines?
Oh, man.
Wait, what happened to your accent?
What happened
to my accent?
I stole money all the time.
All right.
Where the shit? Well, I never know where I am. That's what I need. I don't need a page number. I need a page.
You're an Alzheimer's podcast host.
Newton got in the game. He was an expert extracting information, and members of the criminal underworld were woefully incapable of matching wits with one of the greatest minds in human history. In 1697, William, brimming with confidence at eluding the grasp of what he saw as the new, easily fooled warden of the mint, launched the final step of his long con. Like Newton, William was aware that the biggest threat to a coiner was betrayal, and that the biggest vulnerability came when passing the coins.
I would say also like stuff falling on you.
That's super dangerous.
A lot of heavy equipment.
Chiseling equipment,
losing
printers,
a finger.
just blocks of whatever
I moved
materials.
an old printing press once. It was scary as shit.
Oh, hell yeah. Just the tables alone, right?
Yeah.
Solid wood. Solid wood.
All his machinations over the years pursued one central goal: to openly pass his false coins from within the mint itself. Newton had prevented his last attempt, so this time William went straight to the House of Commons to make his case. The few mint officers he didn't accuse of incompetence, he charged with corruption. His assertions weren't incorrect. Many mint workers were involved in various clipping and coining schemes. The bigger problem, he said, was that no one overseeing the process possessed knowledge of all the various steps of coinage. William...
Straight white males.
Right.
These fucking
Fucking
people.
fuck those guys, right?
William
My
offered
fellow
his
straight
services...
white males.
Dude, you guys are getting real wacky right now.
Okay.
William offered his services in this role.
You're about to go
True
cha
to
for
form...
cha.
I will chaw the fuck out of you, bro.
I will go cha until you're chuffed.
Thanks, man. True to form, to prove his expertise, William offered up a sample of his own counterfeit.
Like letting them know that that's what it was?
He was like,
or...
here's a fake coin I made, which proves that I can make coins, so let me run the coin operation.
He's like one of those hackers. It's like, see how easy you can get into these accounts? I hacked it.
He's black hat turned white hat.
Okay.
William impressed the MPs who ordered Newton to allow him into the mint to experiment.
He's in.
Newton angrily refused. Not only had
Hell
William...
no!
I'm a prisoner.
Yeah. First of all, I'm undercover, so no!
Not only had William publicly insinuated that he was either incompetent or corrupt, but everyone else seemed to forget that William Chaloner was a suspect. As his private writings would later show, Newton had moved past targeting William for the theft of the minting equipment. But these new insults were more than he could bear.
Wait a second. Something's up. That's what he
William-
said to himself.
Something's up, and it will come down eventually. As
Yes.
I wrote, buy my book.
Yeah?
William pressed too hard in his quest.
They're going to throw the book at you, which involves inertia, which I'll explain on another date.
William pressed too hard in his quest to crack the mint.
Does
opening
involve
it
inertia, right?
Just right enough for Newton to look right back at him. William's failed attempt at infiltrating the mint cost him a lot of money. Not only was the ruse itself expensive, but he'd also stopped his coining to focus on the con. Nearly broke, he restarted his old operation at a house 20 miles outside of London.
Selling maps and bars.
Yes, of course. That's the best way to make money.
Yeah.
Really?
No, coining again.
Oh.
Weeks later, his web began to unravel. On May 18th, 1697, John Peters, the man William hired to put the finish on his new molds, appeared in court on completely unrelated charges. But Peters cracked under questioning and blabbed about every criminal act he had ever witnessed.
Of course, in days when they used to rip your fucking dick off and burn you at the stake, you're going to be like, you're just going to try to get out of it, right?
He even testified that William bragged about fooling Parliament, the Treasury, and the King.
Oh, fuck.
Can't brag about that.
It's over. Your empire's crumbling, bro.
When Newton heard the news, he arrested Peters and offered him freedom and payment to act as a snitch. But those efforts were unnecessary. Impatient with the pace of his coining, William went before a government committee, claiming to have evidence of a Jacobite attack and offering to infiltrate and expose it for a modest fee.
But they already know that he's the dude? So he's like thinking, right? Is that what's happening?
As luck would have it, Newton was there on the same day for another coining case. They literally bumped into each other. Newton recognized his target and ordered his arrest. But William had one more trick up his sleeve.
A dildo with a clock on it.
Through contacts.
A map.
And a map.
A map
treasure.
of where to put the dildo.
That's right.
Finally, someone's taking these two things that weren't together and put them
It
together.
has the ... He's like, X with a lot of little lines coming out of the X marks the spot. It's an asshole. It's like a puckered butthole.
Yeah.
You know, the Red Hot Chili Peppers logo times 10.
William had one more trick up his sleeve. Through contacts, he paid the primary witnesses to flee the country. Newton's case fell apart and the judges dismissed the charges.
What?
He again walked free.
Newton, who's the bomb at all this shit, failed to get this guy? Mm-hmm. That's so funny.
Well,
Hobby fucking detective.
right?
Well, when you're Newton, you can kind of,
While he was no longer a prisoner, William was flat broke. So he did the only thing that made sense and
He
went after
made
the
money
mint.
by hand.
He went after the mint one more time.
He sold maps in a bar.
This time, he printed a document accusing the mint officers of targeting him as retaliation for exposing their corruption.
He holds up a dildo clock to point. Over there, you, sir!
That is funny.
Right? Now Newton was on...
I accuse you, sir! He pulls it out like a sword. Then draw!
What is that? It's a dildo watch.
Haven't you seen these already?
Yeah, no, they're porcelain.
They were all the craze 6 or 7 years ago.
You wouldn't
That's
understand.
and that's all this has been is like 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
Time
This is
keeps on
1690.
fucking,
This is
fucking,
1697. And
Into
this all
my
started in 1680.
rectum.
So it hasn't been that long.
Wow.
You guys missed my time.
I liked it.
Thank you.
Pink Floyd?
No, isn't that Steve Miller Band?
Yeah, that is Steve Miller Band,
keeps
yeah.
on-
Now Newton was on the defensive, as William's charges prompted an investigation into whether he had conspired to frame an innocent man.
When I was a kid, I used to think it was Pink Floyd.
It was thrown out, but Newton was furious.
Newton was good at defense. That
And
was like one of his
figs.
things.
Yeah.
He wasn't a great offensive player, but defense,
Lockdown. He was the Doug Christie of his time.
Yep.
The world's most brilliant man devoted himself to the sole purpose of taking down his adversary. In 1698, the government, needing money for the war,
Was there a
printed...
pun in that? Taking down? Was I supposed to catch that?
No, there was no pun there.
Okay.
The government needed money for the war, so
Like
they,
an apple from a tree.
The
I will
government-
take him down. I will be gravity now.
they printed out 14,000 lottery tickets to raise funds for the war. But the public didn't buy them, as the government's previous lottery had failed to ever pay out.
Oh, wow. So the public had no confidence in their own government's lottery? Not like nowadays, am I right? You've seen the commercials. You see those people with those big checks. Am I right, guys? Cowboy
Not
hats?
to let
200
the
million?
printing go to waste. The tickets were given to soldiers in lieu of payment on the promise they could be turned in for £10
The
apiece.
Dumb and Dumber payment. Might want to hold on to that one, soldier.
Did you ever see the Street Fighter movie?
Yeah.
At the end, like M. Bison's lackey has escaped with this big crate of money, and he opens it at the end of the movie, and it's all just money with M. Bison's face on it.
Oh, yeah. It's Raul Julia's last film.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Man, I feel so left out of this.
William saw another opportunity and put together a team to copy the notes, but he didn't know that one member was an informer. Soon there was a 50-pound bounty for the capture of William Chaloner. At that price, it took only a few days for a thief taker to bring him in.
Isaac Newton down.
For the next few months, Newton interviewed hundreds of witnesses.
Holy shit.
And they couldn't stop talking about like, hey, aren't you the gravity guys? Like, that's not the point. We need to talk.
I'm not going to do the hits for you. I've already. That's my past.
Yeah, it smells like Teen Spirit. We got other stuff, I'm a detective too.
I'm not a physicist anymore.
I'm out of the game.
That was the old me.
Newton got signed and sworn
He rolls
statements.
his sleeves up into the interrogation
When
room.
they pull you back in, which is like some kind of physics law. They pull you back in because of gravity.
Newton got signed and sworn statements from every single one of the witnesses. Over 140 of those still exist today, by the way. William
a lot
tried.
of John Handcocks.
Oh, that's Hancock. I caught up to that one.
Watchcock.
Cha for cha, bro.
Cockwatch.
William tried his old tricks, using his fellow prisoners to sneak messages and bolster his defense.
This shisty piece of shit. He's just going to turn everyone in anyways. Fuck you, William, and your ghosts too.
But
And the
this
ghost
time,
you rode in on. Ghost horse.
Newton was one step ahead.
Hashtag ghost horse.
At least 3 of William's cellmates were the warden's own undercover informants.
Holy
Wait.
moly.
So Newton he's not going to fall for this shit. Now.
Newton's
He's
like,
I got this shit covered, dude.
Look, if
I
there's
haven't
one
seen
thing
the
we
show The
know,
Wired, but I'm going to say like
He
it's
knows
like
how
The
to
Wire,
balance
right?
the equation.
He's like, something's up. This guy keeps on being at the middle of these big crimes.
And I'm no genius, but I
You
have
are.
a hunch.
You are a genius.
No,
Actually, I'm a genius.
That's
Newton.
quite specifically why we hired you, in fact.
That's right. He's just eating his Fig Newtons, just chilling. I have a hunch, and then a hunchback guy walks by.
I don't think he had anything to do with Fig Newtons.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, maybe. I mean, this guy's pretty diverse.
I was gonna say, you find out after this, like, first I was a physicist, then I worked at Cambridge for 25 years, then I was a detective, and then a baker. With only one meal that people would eat. Most of my things were failures, but I made this Newton thing.
And then he made dildos at the end just
You
because
know,
he was
Newton's
bored.
just based off rugula.
I don't know what that means.
Rugula? You're a Jew that doesn't know what rugula is?
I don't.
A Fig Newton's just based off arugula?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's
I could see that. I
yeah.
mean, like,
You
arugula
don't know
is
what
like a
arugula
giant.
is?
You don't know what arugula is? It's almost like we're finding out you're not
the
Jewish right now.
Fig pastry with like, it's like a triangle.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times there'll be chocolate in it
like a
too nowadays,
hamantaschen,
too. Like,
kind of.
but like babuka cake.
Yeah, they call them
Babaduka cake.
Wait, the hamantaschen is the one that's the triangle.
That's
right.
I think
That's the
rugula
Illuminati
is
pie.
The one that's like rolled.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know arugula, you fat Jew.
I know what you're talking
Of
about.
course
And
you
people
do.
slice it, and it,
Yes.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's like pastry sushi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only
I know
good
what you
things that we make. We don't make a lot of good food.
Gefilte fish.
Disgusting.
Aren't they great?
I like the way it tastes,
You
but
don't
I
like
never crave
you don't
it.
like a little gefilte fish?
I'll eat it on Passover.
Latkes. Actually, kugel?
Chicken liver?
Good,
you don't like
good
good chicken
kugel's
liver?
cool, but honestly, the best
Sweet
Jewish food is
kugel.
just Middle Eastern Jewish food. Oh,
Yeah.
well, bagels, lox, and cream cheese, though.
Lox by themselves? You don't like that? With
Not by
cabbage?
themselves.
Soup.
Bagels, lox, and cream cheese. And
A
a
very
on a-
soupy culture.
Ugh, I'm not a really soupy guy. I mean,
The blood of Christian babies? You don't enjoy that either?
I've never
Miso
understood
and ramen.
people that don't eat soup.
The libel, it's great.
No, I eat soup. Don't get me wrong, Andy. If you got soup, I'll
I
eat
had
it.
an ex that didn't like soup, and it was. I think it's why we broke up.
Didn't like soup, like in general?
She wouldn't like. Couldn't get ramen. Couldn't get pho.
Ramen, you couldn't get ramen or pho. Those are the two best soups.
I know.
And Russian soup. They do good soup with like sour creams and rabbits
They
in it.
do.
It's-
Borscht.
At least 3 of William's cellmates were the
Get
wardens
some
on
soup
undercover
after this, guys.
informants.
Woo!
William was smart enough to sniff out
Daddy's feeling soupy.
all but one of them,
Do you guys want some maps?
who provided Newton with a detailed account of William's crimes. As the trial date neared, William grew more desperate.
I'll give you 2 maps.
He resorted to writing letters to Newton, a mixture of denials, accusations, and begging for a reprieve.
Dear,
And the plans to my dildo clocks. You can reprint them and make as many as you want.
have I told you about my bar map business?
Newton,
I also have a condom hammer. Please, don't kill me.
Condom hammer.
He's just trying to come up with a lot of,
vagina spatula.
That's right. Have you ever...
A belt with a butthole in it.
The shoe hat is so versatile. Here's the thing.
It's a bra, but it looks like boobs, so a man can put them on.
Obviously, a dildo clock isn't for everyone. But everyone needs shoes and everyone needs hats.
Glasses where a testicle comes out of each eye.
A jacket bridge. You will understand once you use it how valuable this piece is.
it's a flesh shovel.
Yeah.
Did you say a flesh shovel?
Yeah.
Like a fleshlight, but a shovel?
Yes.
Everything is sexual.
You fuck it, but you're
dude.
shoveling.
That is hilarious. You're like,
It's an ab workout, too.
But people seem to lose interest in shoveling after they came, so it wasn't a good seller for business.
Newton never wrote back.
He just ignored it.
Just
Talk to
Ghosted him.
ghosted him.
the
And then
hand.
also ghosted him, probably
Yeah.
because he's going to kill him.
When that didn't work, William changed tactics and began to rip apart his clothes, running around the jail naked and screaming. But his attempt at
Oh, so there
faking
was
his
mushrooms in the jail.
well, he's trying to fake his madness,
Yeah, he's trying to put his pudding tongue into pudding life.
but it only resulted in getting him shackled to his bed.
Oh, and we're talking about a shitty bed in England
and
in
also
the 1600s.
probably not like a very nice shackle.
Yeah.
Shackles that
No
like
fluff cuff.
leave a mark.
Yeah, they're probably rough.
These shackles also make good sunglasses.
This time, after 2
I invented them.
After 2 years of meticulous preparation, Newton was ready. He brought evidence for charges of coining and witness tampering. The trial began and ended on March 3rd, 1699.
One day?
That's, yeah.
Oh my god, that's scary.
I mean,
He
look,
prepared
a
for
whole
2
day is
years.
really long.
Yeah, but 2 years.
so wait, William was in jail for 2 years, like shackled down.
No, because
Cruise
William didn't
pad.
get arrested until 1698. This is early 1699, but Newton had been building this case for 2 years.
So William was in jail for like a year.
A few months.
And then just one day. You're dying.
One day. Well, most of the time they would get through like 20, 30 trials in a day. So, I mean, spending most of a day on one trial was so different. Newton turned the proceedings into a this is your life spectacle, parading witnesses from every phase of William's criminal career. While most of the men who could put him away had been paid to flee or betrayed and hung, William had failed to account for their wives.
Oh no!
Wait, so they're like on the witness stand crying about
All the wives came
Oh, my
out
God.
and just told
and
their
this
stories.
is why like some of these stories, the anti-hero is like, you're like, this guy's cool, but in this story, you're just like, this guy's a piece of shit, and I'm glad they got him. You know what I mean? Crying wives, come on, you lose, dick. Right?
On the multiple charges of high treason,
Wives aren't cool.
William Chaloner
Well, I didn't say they were cool, Andy, but crying wives still does,
Uncool wives.
it still does tug the heart.
was found
On UPN this Thursday, Uncool Wives. It's a reality show. They're trying.
Tug the heart.
guilty
No.
and sentenced to hang.
That's pretty.
Where does he hang at?
Oh, he was hung AF.
Is he gonna go to where they hung out on Save the Bell or Saved by the Bell? What's that place called?
Oh yeah.
No, his sentence is to kick it with Newton for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And Newton's like, look, numbers are very fun. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Come on, stop.
Please just to murder me.
Can we do anything different? Like all
You,
you wanna
my
do-
friend, are sentenced to hang.
Oh God, yeah. You know
In
what?
there.
Do you have the pyramid? Can you just split me in half at this point? Because
gross.
this dork won't stop talking about calculus.
And you know
I
about
don't
the
even know
pyramid,
what that
right?
is.
You know what the pyramid.
I can imagine
It's a
that
torture
it goes
device,
up a butthole, right?
It's a torture device, and they sit you on it with your butthole at the top tip of this giant pyramid,
Mm-hmm.
and they weigh you down, or they pull you down on it like slowly. Like
they just add weights to your
the old
ankles
torture
over
devices in
time.
the old days was people that like got
It's like
off.
it's like what's fun, and then you go past that.
yeah.
what?
I mean,
You caught me off guard, dude.
Was
yeah,
it a
it's not a
pyramid
chocolate
or a
pyramid.
cone?
No.
it was like a
No, it was a
little
pyramid.
wooden
It
pyramid
ripped you in half.
too.
The people that used to do the stuff were like they weren't like just trying to like do their job. Like they were got off on doing sadistic, gross things to people.
Yeah,
so
I
they,
saw that, like, the mummy thing that's like spikes in it and all that shit.
Yeah, the Iron Maiden.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not even that bad. What about that pear thing that they stick in your ass or your
And then they open it, they, like,
and they
screw it
open it up
open?
and it like rips you off. I mean, like just like weird shit. Like the people were just
I don't
psycho.
know.
Amsterdam has a great torture museum.
Oh my
Okay.
God! Did we talk about this before?
We might have.
My mom wouldn't let me go in when I was a kid, but they let me buy the pamphlet, which
There's
gave
also
me
a sex
equal
museum
nightmares.
in Amsterdam
That
has
I
a
wish I could have
giant,
gone
like,
to.
Is it the
7-foot
Anne
penis.
Frank Museum?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of quiet
That's
masturbation.
the sex museum. The,
Okay.
the torture museum is a few ways down the road.
You guys. In the name of Anne Frank.
Let's see. Faking madness, blah, 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 sentence to death. William wrote one last letter to Isaac Newton, both to argue his case and plead for mercy. Quote, "My offending you has brought this upon me, although perhaps you may think not. But 'tis true, I shall be murdered, the worst of all murders. Oh, dear sir, nobody can save me but you. Oh God, my God, I shall be murdered unless you save me."
Oh, he's feeling remorseful after he sent all these other fucking people to their grave? Fuck you, buddy!
Again, Isaac Newton did not reply.
Yeah, of course not.
On March 22nd, 1699, William Chaloner made his way to the gallows. Unlike the other prisoners,
Like an Iron
as a
Maiden
traitor, he was denied the opportunity to get drunk.
They usually let them get drunk?
Yeah, they would be like, yeah, you can go get blasted and then we'll hang you. Since there was no trap door, hanging was typically a slow death, sometimes taking minutes. Some men paid the hangman to pull on their legs to speed it up.
How do you pay the hangman if you're in jail? I'll give you some top ramen.
Well, usually people who had some more money, like they'd have a family member come and slide him some coins, be like, hey, will you like pull on him
And
to
it
make
seems
him?
like William should have had some of these.
But ironically, the counterfeiter had no money.
Isn't
did
it
the-
ironic?
William Chaloner did
It's
the
like
hangman's dance for minutes
hanging.
before he died. Isaac Newton was promoted from warden to master of the mint.
Whoa.
In
Seems kind of like a
1705.
lateral move.
No, he got a pay raise and everything.
I can't believe this. I still can't get over that this is Isaac Newton, the Isaac Newton.
In 1705, he received his knighthood and became Sir Isaac Newton. He served the crown and treasury until his death in 1727 at the age of 84.
That was the last thing Newton did, was working with the Treasury?
Yeah,
Wow!
yeah,
We all think of him as this nerd, but turns out he's badass cop.
yeah.
Yeah.
Badass cop banker.
Money cop.
William Chaloner.
home.
William Chaloner claimed that over his career he minted over 30,000 pounds, around $7.5 million today.
They should have let that guy do the stuff.
And that's the story of William Chaloner and
Holy
Sir Isaac
fuck.
Newton.
What's the name of the book?
Oh yeah, today's sources include, is one source, Newton and the Counterfeiter by Thomas Levinson, and of course the Evil Robots at Wikipedia.
Thank you, though. Grateful for what they
And
do.
one more big shout out to my cousin Thomas Clayton,
Thomas Clayton, what's up, dog?
who helped me find from the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography the story of William Chaloner, coiner and sham plotter.
What's up, Thomas?
So thank you very much. to my cousin, and thank you to Wikipedias and all those different things who help us out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I use Wikipedia to fill in some of like the surrounding story of like
Yeah.
what was the Jacobites and things.
You did a
like
beautiful job, Slayton.
Thank
Yeah,
you
that
very
was
much.
really impressive.
Even
Thank
though
you.
Andy and I were super
E-
harsh on you, you really
Even
did
with
good.
that one like turn of phrase that really sucked. The
There was a couple
new inventions.
There was a couple that I didn't like either, but I was like, I'm gonna let it go because he's turning over a book report.
Thanks, man. Thanks, I
I thought
appreciate
you did
that.
a really good job.
Yeah, and if you guys like write reviews for the show, give us 5 stars, but then you can still critique Rich's writing in the
Yeah,
review.
but give me a review,
Right?
Yeah, if you mention Andy in a review, we'll
Slaton will give him a blowjob publicly.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah,
Right? Totally.
So that's pretty.
When we do that, what social media will you post those pictures on?
Probably like LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to give you an opportunity to say where people find you on the internet.
Slaton
It
was trying to do
it
a,
was
very,
like
a very
slide-
unsmooth plug
It was
opportunity.
me sliding you.
I thought you did a good job.
Thank
Slaton.
you,
Yeah,
thank you. I know
you
I set
did.
things up nicely, but
No,
everyone
that's my
appreciates
new
it.
attempt. Is I'm going to just try to seize the business world by only
LinkedIn.
doing LinkedIn. No, I am at I'm Andy Haynes, and that's a conjunction, not
Yeah.
I am.
We tagged him in our Instagram for our mic check.
HAYNES for
Yep.
Haynes.
Yeah.
And again, you can see Andy at the Underground Comedy in D.C. on the 2 nights before Christmas, which would be the 22nd and 23rd before Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Catch him out there in D.C. You can also follow our show on all social medias at CRiiiME, CRiiiME pod, Crime Pod with 3 I's. You can email the show, crimepodcast@gmail.com with 1 I or 3 for crime. Send us any story ideas, questions you have, dick pics, label those for Shefsky.
Please, I'm hungry.
And, yeah, we've gotten some great stories.
It's not even gay anymore. I just want to look
We
at
have not got to get the dick pics though, and it's kind of dragging. So
we haven't got any dick pics.
we've gotten no dick pics, but we've gotten story
It's a
suggestions.
fucking blessing, Slaton.
I mean, not to you.
I'll send a dick pic.
Look, there's a few days left in Hanukkah.
Our guests end up
Please
sending
get
us
me-
dick pics?
Thank you, Andy.
That's
Is it
that's support.
The 3rd or 4th night of Hanukkah.
It's gonna be the 3rd tonight.
Jesus, it goes by so fast.
I
The
know,
older
so
you get,
quickly.
you're just like, is Hanukkah? When's Hanukkah? Like, it was last
When's
week.
yeah.
We passed it, sir. When? Just now.
Just now.
Baseballs hashtag.
And then also, if you really help us out, go on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and review. Mention Andy, and you can get those blowjob pictures.
That's not true. Don't lie to those people.
Or you know
These
what?
are our fucking supporters, and you're gonna lie to them.
That's fair. Well, I'll send you a picture of a blowjob.
Support my Patreon.
Yeah, support Andy's Patreon. I don't
Do you
know
have a
what he-
Patreon,
I don't know what
Andy?
he does.
Yeah, it's
But-
just to support me.
Yeah.
I don't do anything for you.
That's
just Give
okay.
me your money.
Yeah, that's
good.
That's
Yeah,
what we're
give-
going for.
And if you could, go in there and click the share on iTunes. Click
Yeah.
share and send it to some people that you think will like crime. Please, we appreciate it, and everyone that's been supporting. Thank you so much.
Bye, robot.
Bye, robot. Peace out. Thanks so much for doing it, Andy. You were awesome.
Thanks, man.
Fucking
Bye.
great guest.
That was fun, dudes.